Anyway, all right, so I am sitting here with Stormy, and Stormy does not want to get on camera, but we had a really good visit, so I wanted to share some points that we covered because I felt like they could all be really good learning points for us. I'm going to just try to go through our session, section by section, and see if we can't uncover or pull out the things that we talked about that were really good. Okay, right? Can I see that summary sheet that we put together? So funny, it's like I'm talking to a ghost over here. All right, so first thing we did, we always do a little check-in, like an assessment of what's going on, how things are going, how things are improving. Ooh, that improvement sheet, do we have that over here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me see that. All right, so what was really cool was we were sitting there, and of course she's going through and assessing herself based on all these different things that we do in the progression where we do our little 14-day assessment. And I had asked her, what are some things that are shifting in a good direction? She said her energy levels are better. And I was like, okay, so how do you notice your energy levels specifically? I think this is important for a lot of us to understand. When we start to acknowledge things that are moving in a good direction, it's useful to get specific about it. Like, how do you notice your energy levels are better? How did you notice your energy levels were better? I forgot. What did you say? You woke up feeling better. Okay, you woke up feeling better, and then a little bit more focus and stuff throughout the day. And I was like, okay, so why are you waking up feeling better? Like, what is it that you're doing? And the reason that we're trying to figure this out is because we want to figure out the things that are working so that we can keep doing those things and fine-tune our processes, right? So I kept trying to get her to, so it's one thing that she said when she first came in is that she's meditating every day since our last session, so congratulations, good job, every day. At least 5 minutes, but she's been sometimes 15 minutes, which is great. And then every day she's getting outside, didn't you say that? Or most days you're getting outside.
Most days.
So now we're talking about more energy level. She's waking up feeling more refreshed. And I'm like, okay, so that I think that means you're having better sleep. Why are you having better sleep? She's like, well, I'm not getting as much sleep as I used to. I'm like, so your quality of sleep must be better. So what is it that you're doing that's contributing to your quality of sleep? And we went back and forth for a while for her to figure it out. And finally she was like, oh, because I'm getting outside and I'm getting sun every day. I'm like, yes, exactly. So we need to keep that up. That's how powerful getting sun exposure every day can be. It can help the quality of sleep in such a good way that it can almost mitigate some of the duration issues we may experience. And that's exactly what we said in the lifestyle progression. Remember, we said we can improve sleep in two ways. We can improve the duration, but we can also improve the quality. So even if your duration is messed up, if you're outside getting sunlight every day and then you get into bed and you're turning off all your stuff at night, what she's doing, then your quality can be good, and she's seeing that as better energy. All right, now, the other thing she said she noticed was that she's having better focus, and I was like, why are we having better focus? And then
Meditating every day.
but initially you didn't say that.
No.
So initially it was like, why are you having better focus? She said, well, because I have more energy, because I'm getting sun every day. I said, yeah. I said, but what did you say you're doing every day when you come in here? Or every day since you've been here? She said, I've been meditating every day. What are we doing when we meditate? So we had a little discussion about that. What are we doing? Okay, well, we're training focus. That's part of what we're doing when we're sitting, right? We have a focus, we notice our mind drift, we come back to our focus. So we're cultivating focus in that little process. And what she's noticed is that now, during her day, she has this course, this training course that she's in, and she used to have this problem of like trying to study or be in the course or whatever. Is this an online course? Or
Half and half.
Okay, half and half. So what, like live on the computer seminars, or you're in person?
You go to classes and then you do stuff at home too.
Oh, okay, so having a hard time when you're doing, especially your self-study stuff, getting distracted, right? Mm-hmm. And now she's noticing she's not getting distracted as much, or at least she's noticing herself, her tendency to be distracted, and she comes back to her training course. And I said, Stormy, that's exactly what we're doing when we meditate. We're noticing our mind drift, and we're coming back to our focus, and that's what's happening. So that's some of the benefits that come from meditating. And then she also noticed, which I think thought was really beautiful. We had this hike to Observation Point this weekend up at Mount Zion, and she said on the way back, her friend was driving, so she had the ability to watch the mountains and the rocks and all the stuff and the beauty there. And she would notice herself get distracted while she's watching this beautiful stuff. And she's like, no, I need to be watching this and paying attention to this. That's another example of meditation manifesting itself, or the benefits of meditation manifesting themselves in our daily life. Like, you are able to notice more of what's in the moment, present moment beauty and things like that. I thought that was really, really great. I think we use that as an example too in our lifestyle progression. We talk about sometimes this habituation to thinking keeps us from being present and witnessing the beauty of the present moment. And then now you're seeing that you're noticing yourself getting distracted and coming back and witnessing that beauty. I think that was so, so great. All right, then, so we sat out here, we went through a little practice session, and we talked about, what did we talk about? Like, remember I talked about like the usefulness of the focus of breath in the body. What did we talk about with that?
Oh, with emotions.
Yeah, with emotions, okay. So this is something I've known for a long time and I use it all the time. I just don't know how to word it very well. I felt like we had a really good conversation around it. And the first thing is, well, you know, when we use our focus of listening, when we use our focus of listening, we now have a tool that we can use during the day. So if I notice myself getting distracted or caught up or critical mind or judgmental or being triggered or upset or something like that, I have an option. First of all, when I notice that, that's beneficial in and of itself. That stops the repetitive habitual cascade that usually happens, right? I notice myself getting caught up or whatever that is, noticing it's great. Then I also have the ability to come back and just listen. So even like right now, if we listen to what we have available, there's an openness, a space that comes with it. So if I'm caught up and I notice it and I want to, I can just come back to the present moment and listen. And it doesn't make it go away. That's the important thing to understand. It doesn't make that whatever's happening goes away. It just stops that repetitive pattern, that cascade. And over time, it seems like these things happen less often and they don't take us away as much, something like that. Right? Then we also talked about the benefit of using the body as a focus in meditation. When I'm feeling the body, I now have this tool that I can use, especially in really emotional situations. So there's some things that really pull us in. I'm trying to find a word for it or a phrase, because we're talking about, like, a lot of times with clients, I'll say, like, you know, you get into your hole. I don't know if that's a good word or not. I don't know if that resonates, right? I always think about you get into your dark hole, you get into your funk, you know, you get some, you know, say you have this conversation with someone that really bothered you and you wish you would have said something different, or you're wondering how they interpreted it or what they're thinking now and what you should have said, like all that, whatever happens with that, right? That's when we have to use this stuff. That's when it's the hardest and the most difficult, because you really want to think about this stuff, but it's not serving you at all, because those thoughts are based on expectations and anticipations and assumptions and all this stuff that we don't know anything about until we actually sit and have a conversation again with that person. But anyway, that's just one example. And but it could be something completely different, you know, like a heartbreak, or you know, like something happening in your family, or I don't know. But whenever those things happen and they start to pull you in, same thing, you want to notice what's happening. You want to notice your tendency to be sucked into that and have these conversations in your mind about it. And then you have this tool of being able to go into the body and feel that emotion. All right. So if I'm dealing with something that has a strong emotional component, I can basically notice it. That in and of itself is great. And then I can say, where am I feeling that right now? You know, if I have a heartbreak, a heartache, I'm probably feeling it right here. If I go there and I try to feel it, I can probably feel it. And then what happens? Well, one thing is I'm not thinking about it anymore. That's great. But then when I feel it, it starts to dissipate a little bit. It gives it some space, I think, you know? And if you just keep doing that over and over, as hard as that is, again, this does not make things go away, although sometimes they do. Sometimes time just kind of changes it and it fades and shifts into something else. But now we have a tool. Now we have a tool. We can go and just feel that emotion. Okay, so I think that's what's beneficial about feeling the body. Is there anything else that we talked about along those lines?
That was the biggest focus, was the feeling.
Okay, cool. So now she's up to 5 minutes of listening, 5 minutes of feeling the body. Oh, and then we also talked about when we leave the session, the meditation session, what did I say?
Setting intentions for the day.
Setting intentions for the day and having some vows, right? It's like, why are we doing this? Why are we sitting? Why are we sitting?
To refocus.
Okay, what else? You said it right off the bat earlier. Why are we sitting? Why are we meditating?
To be still.
Why else? To see what's happening. Remember, you said that right off the bat. We want to see what's happening, okay? The reason we sit, yes, we're cultivating focus, yes, we're cultivating presence, yes, we want to see what's happening. And what I mean by that is we want to see what's happening throughout the rest of the day. As we go about our life, we want to see the self-talk. We want to see ourselves getting triggered. We want to see critical mind. We want to see all these things that are causing the mayhem up there, right? Because when we see it temporarily, it's not happening anymore, right? So it's great to have these vows when you leave that session in the morning. You do your gratitude or your journaling, you meditate for your time that you're meditating, whatever that is. And then before you leave, you want to be like, all right, now the game is on, right? And so Stormy has like her own personal vows. Like sometimes she has an issue with making her health herself a priority because she's got so many other responsibilities. So now one of her vows when she leaves is, my health is my priority. A better, healthier me is better for everything that I care about in my life. And she tends to be really critical about herself. I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. She tends to be really critical about herself, like we all are, right? So I told her, we thought a really creative solution was, and I'm gonna notice my critical Stormy. And when she shows up, I'm gonna say hi to her and say, hey, I was expecting you, it's good to see you. Because when you notice it, it's not an issue temporarily, right? Something changes about it, right? Going to notice your tendency to get. I'm going to notice my tendency to get distracted especially when I'm in my little course learning situation, and then the game is on. Like I want to see what's happening throughout the rest of the day. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this work, is because I'm committed to watching my mind, my self-talk, my triggers, my critical mind, my worst-case scenario. When I notice these things, that's great in and of itself. But then I can also, when I notice these things, reframe it and flip it into the positive aspect of it. So I thought that was really, really awesome. Anything else?
Not everything on the list.
That's on that. And then we want to talk about the traveling stuff. I thought this was really good too. So a big concern she has right now, she's got some seminars. Some of them are local, some of them are kind of like workshop seminars, all-day events, and some are out of town. So we just want to make sure that we're staying on track. So we just had a really good discussion about what to do around those situations. When you're local, fasting is your friend. You don't have to eat. You don't have to eat. We don't have to eat, okay? That's what's great about what we're doing. We don't have to eat. So people are all going to lunch. Everybody, it's time for lunch. You don't have to do it. You can just skip it if you want to, right? If you do want to go sit with them, then you just got to make sure you do the right thing. If I'm going to go sit with someone for lunch and I'm not eating, I'm just going to have a cup of coffee or a drink. Drink midday might not be the best thing. All right, scratch that. Delete that. But I mean, that may happen, like I'll have a glass of water, I'll have some tea, I'll have a cup of coffee, and maybe I'll have a drink. I don't know. But if I'm not gonna eat, I just don't feel the pressure to eat. I don't care what everybody else is doing around me. Also, quality coffee tended to be an issue at some of your previous events, and so that would make you want to flavor it up because it tasted so horrible. So we were like, hey, let's just make sure that before we start the day, we go find a Starbucks in the hotel or a decent coffee place and fill up a thermos, and then you're good to go with coffee for the rest of the day, right? Also, at this all-day event, this is an all-day seminar workshop kind of thing, making sure that we have snacks on hand that are appropriate. So country archer beef jerky, epic meat bars, I think that was our main ones. Maybe Chomps. I think Chomps is kind of expensive, but and then since you're local for these local all-day events, she's going to bring one meal in a glass container, like a meat and some greens or something like that, so that she has an appropriate meal. The other area of weakness, and I think this is true for a lot of us, is at the end of the day, when the seminar's over, or for a lot of us when the workday is over, we have a tendency, especially if we don't have something ready already at home, to want to stop somewhere, and then there's the temptation to eat something off plan, potentially, maybe, okay? So this is where I said it's good to have an intention for the day, okay? So we have an intention maybe at the beginning of the day and definitely towards the end of the day when we get to that point. Going to have an intention when the day is over to go straight home and eat at home, because we know that's what's going to make us feel the best, right? And for me, and I told us to picture this, picture eating out somewhere, the wrong thing. How does that feel? It doesn't feel good, right? Now, picture making it home, safe, and eating at home. How does that feel? That feels really good, right? Just imagining it, right? So we have this technique, we have a short video that we did years ago called Using Tomorrow for Today. So when I'm in my moment of weakness or decision, and I have a choice to make, I sit and I think, how do I want to feel tomorrow? How is this decision going to impact the way that I feel tomorrow? I use tomorrow for today, or tomorrow for this decision right now. And if I make the right choice now, I'm gonna feel good about it tomorrow. And then the opposite is true, right? The other situation was the traveling situations. So I told her, maybe, or we just brainstormed, maybe just making sure that in our checked luggage, we bring, Thunder scaring him, In our checked luggage, we bring Epic meat bars, a Country Archer. I even said you can pre-cook bacon and check it in your luggage, and believe it or not, if you push all the air out, like cooked bacon's gonna last you 3 to 5 days. Like I've never gotten sick off of bad bacon. It's cured, it's salted, you cook it, and it's like almost invincible. Also, she's gonna experiment with some Wild Planet sardines. And then as soon as you get there, if I'm traveling somewhere and I have an all-day event or several events or something like that, if I'm staying in a hotel, the first thing I'm gonna do is get an Uber over to a Whole Foods or some local grocery store, and I'm gonna go through there and stock up on what I can. You know, if I have a fridge in the room, I'll get some greens, some salad dressing, a rotisserie chicken is a great thing you can pick off of for several days. You know, just find whatever you can there, and then the other rules apply. Now, we talked about this, right? You're traveling, you're sitting in a hotel. It doesn't seem that great or grand or, what do we call it? Like, you know, sitting on your hotel bed eating a can of tuna. That doesn't seem like a great travel experience, you know? Like I can just imagine, but I've had to do that many times. You know, you sit there and you're getting a can of sardines sitting on your hotel room bed with a little crappy TV on or something like that. Who knows, you know? So, I mean, you can mix that up a little bit. You know, get your food. First of all, imagine how good it's going to feel to stay on the right things. And you can get your food, throw it in your backpack, go for a walk, sit at a park, sit on the bench, go down the lobby, even being around out in the open, around other people, and having your little meals down there to mix it up, make it a little bit more nostalgic, you know. But just remember that it's more important to do the right thing than it is to get caught up in any of these ideas, right? Once you eat the right things, even though it doesn't seem that grand, it's going to make you feel good, and that's what's most important, right? Also, I did say when traveling, you know, have an intention to eat the foods that you bring and what you shop for there, but then also when you travel, I think that's an appropriate time to be kind of flexible and easy about eating out at restaurants, which means that, like, allow yourself, if you really want to, go sit at the restaurant in the hotel or go experience something there locally. Allow yourself to indulge a little bit, but just still order the right things. Order real food, order meat and veggies, and ask the questions and do the best you can, but like don't get too neurotic about it when you're out and about, you know, enjoy yourself a little bit. All right? I think that was about everything. Anything else?
Covered it.
All right. Thank you for letting me get on here without you, but sitting here. You're with me anyway. All right, cool. Hope that was useful. Talk to y'all soon. That's good.
That sounds great.
All right, you okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be really helpful.